Unhinged, unsettling, and creepy as hell. If you're eagerly searching for a new, thrilling, scary movie to embrace this upcoming Halloween season, allow me to provide my thoughts after catching Speak No Evil at its premiere. Before going in to see this movie, I had grounded expectations. It's no doubt that this year has not been the best for scary movie mystery thrillers. First off, The Strangers Chapter 1. It was mostly an uninteresting slasher movie that didn't really add anything new to the horror genre that hasn't already been overused before. If you're looking at Night Swim, it was a slightly more entertaining prospect that gave us one of the weirdest villains in any film to date, which was literally a possessed swimming pool. So yeah, that was still pretty bad. And then we look at Imaginary, which was an utter disaster. The entire main cast performed horribly, and the story was the typical cookie-cutter, evil imaginary friend story we've seen so many times over. And I wouldn't be surprised if you missed A24's recent scary film, I Saw the TV Glow. I wouldn't be surprised if it passed under your radar. It had to have been the oddest, psychedelic, brain-rot film experience I've seen in the last few years, and no, that is not a compliment. Finally, I must say the latest Quiet Place movie was simply boring, and as hard as it tried to be scary, I remain unfazed through the entire runtime. So yeah, it's been a drab year for scary thriller films, and I must say in many ways, this film finally breaks that ice. Please leave me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to show your support for the revival of quality films and awareness for such.
Well, that's a step in the right direction.
Now, going in to see the movie, I was excited to see James McAvoy return to the big screen, reprising his role as a raving lunatic. Of course, this is a brand new, interesting story, but if you've seen Split, if you've seen Glass, you can see just how crazy that guy can get. For anyone that bothered to actually watch the trailer, his psychotic demeanor immediately caught my attention personally, and prompted me to see if this film delivered a horrific, thrilling story as it appeared to be. Now, let me set the scene for you. A happy family of three are exploring the beautiful streets of Italy, enjoying a much-needed vacation from their complicated life back in England. Ben and his wife Louise, alongside their sweet, anxious daughter Agnes, are curiously optimistic of what fun can be had in the country. During their stay, they stumble into Paddy and his family, who comfortably embrace their own wildest traits and are unashamedly themselves. That charisma was infectious and prompted several get-togethers in Italy before settling on another trip to stay at Paddy's luxurious farmhouse in the countryside. The families are going to meet one more time. After making the long trek over, both families got together splendidly. Both moms and dads bonded over their similarities, enjoying the spoils of the beautiful countryside. Agnes and Paddy's strange son Ant also delighted in tomfoolery and gameplay. This joyous shroud soon falls as Paddy and his wife begin to show their disdain for their son and the comfort of their new house guests. Everything starts to get really ugly about halfway through the movie. This is when everything begins to become very uncomfortable, and the unsettling air consumes Ben, Louise, and Agnes. Paddy's son Ant, despite unending monitor from his father, desperately attempts to express his concerns for himself and the family within the clutches of Paddy's embrace. Whatever is going to happen next, you'll have to discover it yourself. Now, after hearing that synopsis, you're probably thinking, this sounds cookie cutter, like we've seen it before. I will definitely say that it certainly resembles some familiar plots and themes from a couple films. I personally draw many similarities from The Split and The Visit. However, it still shakes things up a bit. This film is creepy as hell in a fashion that feels original and unique. The dynamic relationship between Paddy and his equally charismatic wife grow increasingly weirder, and the oddity of it is best reflected by Ben and Louise. Ben really blew me away with his scale of emotional range. You couldn't help but to feel everything he felt, and his reflection of the oncoming discomfort fueled the drama of the film. And yes, James McAvoy was unhinged, and it was so much fun watching him slowly wither into a horror that we could see from a mile away. The child actors were also exceptional. Their acting did not take me out of the movie. Despite previous examples from recent child actors, I hate to bring them up, but those poor twins from The Acolyte, that was atrocious. There's also a pretty great twist that happens about a third of the way into the film that genuinely surprised me too. So if you're looking for a good twist, this movie's got one. Now, I'm done kissing its butt. Let's start considering the negatives and its many flaws. I felt that the story was pretty predictable. They gave away too much in the trailers. I'm so tired of them putting all of this stuff in the trailers. You don't really understand the first time through, but I watched the trailer not long after I saw the movie, and it's got the same stuff. I was thinking about it. There's some big stuff they drop in the trailer, so don't watch the trailer again. It was also disappointing to see how spineless Ben's character turned out to be. I wasn't expecting a lot from him, but his inability to step up to meet the challenge for his family was shameful. Also, we learn a horrible secret from two of the main characters in the film that isn't resolved or amended by the end of the movie. And this is a character that we're supposed to follow, we're supposed to like, and who is like, a protagonist. And we're supposed to think everything's okay, it doesn't matter, we move on. I did not forget that, and it was a really shameful plot point that was dismissed with an attempt to save face for a main character, and it left a really stale taste in my mouth, and it kind of ruined that whole character for me. And unfortunately, this person sort of ruined the end of the movie too, which was drawn out way too long. The final act of the film was way too long. I'd say it was 20 minutes too long. Now, in my videos, I like to talk about advisable content, and for this, I don't really think there's very much. I don't really think it's particularly brutal. There's like maybe one or two scenes that are kind of grim, but that's about it there. And then there's not really any like inappropriate content. I would say there's only one scene where him and his James McAvoy and his wife are kind of fooling around, and it's really weird. But I'd say that's the only thing you really have to worry about. Other than that, I mean, you could just not look at that scene. But other than that, I really didn't understand why it was rated R. So that's all I got to say about like the advisable content within this movie. Very, very soft rated R for sure. But otherwise, going in to see this movie, I was sent on a thrilling adventure watching the movie. And if you're looking for a mysterious thrill, then you'll likely have fun. Before you go, if you liked what I had to say and would like to continue to follow me on my quest to seek out the greatest films of new and old, like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts of Speak No Evil are. Did you enjoy it? What other scary movies do you recommend? Anyways, I appreciate your time as always. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.